the King's Parade have their much anticipated and eagerly awaited album available now. It is Waves, and to tell me more, Olly's here. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello.
So we've been catching up with singles coming out over the last 12 months, and this is the moment you have been waiting for, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It seems like it's hard to believe it's actually arrived.
So explain a little bit more about the band for those who haven't picked up on what's going on so far.
So we've been spending the last, I guess, 12 months releasing singles from our debut album. We've been going for now around 6-7 years, so it's a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
Releasing EP after EP, and then finally decided to bite the bullet and release the debut album, and yeah, couldn't be happier, to be honest.
So what's the album made up of? Because if you've got a lot of EP stuff there, it's kind of a bit tempting to bring it together into a semi-best of. But is that what's happened here?
So no, we decided to really kind of actually fully commit to running a long body of work, and one that I wouldn't say it's got a theme running through it. It's not a concept album in itself, but there's a concept that sits above it and kind of engulfs all the songs, but all of them were written specifically for this album.
And with a sort of a source for the music, which has been through a really weird time with lockdown and everything, and has that added a flavour to it because it's kind of made you work harder to be able to create this?
Yeah, it's been an interesting flavour.
Because you've been all over the place. I mean, we've spoken to you. Was it France you were in during one of our conversations? You've been here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, I've been kind of running around trying to find a spot that feels comfortable during all this, but I wouldn't say I'd want to do it again this way. Let me put it that way. It's been tricky, but definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I think there's something to be said about being able to kind of push to make it happen. I think that adds that extra drive, and that extra kind of mental block that you want to get past. You know, thinking, will we be able to tour this album, and how do we want people to hear this? And so going ahead with that decision and saying we're going to do it means that you really work that little bit extra.
Yeah, because I mean, you're used to touring as well, aren't you? I mean, you've performed, even though you haven't had an album to push, because you are like a proper band and everything.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. So touring is like a huge part of our band as well. Our live shows is something we pride ourselves on. So it kind of, yeah, that's been really strange. I actually had my first show in a year and a half last Thursday, and that was supporting Billy Lockett at the Clapham Grand, which was genuinely amazing, but very strange to suddenly get back in the game all of a sudden.
Yeah, but I would say you're used to playing up and down the country, though. I think that's a big part of it. And you've made a name for yourself with the touring, but what's the album been like as far as responses go? Because I think this is where you make yourself a great name when it comes to recorded stuff too.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been really amazing. I feel like everyone's appreciated, the difficulty of right now and how hard we've worked for this. So we have so many messages, and the response in terms of streams has been amazing. We're also selling a record of vinyl, and the uptake on the vinyl has been, to be honest, so surprising in a great way. So yeah, it's been good.
Signed copies as well? Are you now doing autographs?
Of course, double exclusive. Well, yeah.
That's that. But that must make it fun and make it all seem that little bit more worthwhile as well. The fact you're getting that sort of recognition, and it's not just from people who have come to you because they are friends of friends of friends. This is actually a much wider thing, and the album itself, it must be great to get that feeling of excitement when somebody else is as thrilled by your work as you are.
Absolutely. I think it's always a bit scary, isn't it, when we didn't venture too far from our old sound. It's just that we evolved it. But you're always a bit nervous as to, if people are going to respond correctly and if they're going to like the new stuff. So yeah, it's been outstanding.
And when it came to the writing, how has that sort of been spread out amongst the four of you?
So the whole way we make this work is that I usually will write kind of the melody. I love writing melodies. I'll usually write the song structure, and then I bring it to the guys, and then we kind of mess around with it, and everyone lays their own kind of little flavor on top of it. For this album, we gave ourselves a target of writing about 50 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, and it was a very intense part of our writing. I guess the whole process, because you start to, in a good way, you start to lose objective. You know, you start to really kind of just go crazy and just keep on writing and writing and writing. Um, Eventually, we wrote all those songs, and then it was like a process of whittling everything down into what we believed would be the perfect album.
Well, Waves is exactly that, certainly from the King's Parade fan base, who are absolutely adoring it. So, and then tell us a bit more about the cover art as well, because that ties in with the Waves theme, doesn't it?
It does, and it was that's a genuine picture that we took in Hampstead Heath. We went in one of the ponds, which you're not allowed to go in. And obviously, it was COVID, so there was no kind of. I mean, I think in general, it's not a good idea to go to those ponds. So we hopped in. It was absolutely freezing, but our photographer just had this vision and really made it come to life. And then Anna, who is the artist throughout all of our records, just added on top of that and just made it pop out. I absolutely love that artwork. It's amazing.
Well, you suffered for your art, which is what counts as well.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we look forward to seeing you back in the Midlands, because I mean, it's the fact you've toured through the area, which is how we know about you here. And where can we go to find out all that is going on with the gigs, and of course get vinyl signed copies of the album, knowing that you all absolutely froze to death whilst you took the photo for the front?
Yes, exactly. Please support us, even just for that. You can find everything on tkp.band. In terms of touring, we have our album release date in London on the 15th of July at Umira, and most likely, fingers crossed, that will be followed by a UK-wide tour very shortly.
Fingers crossed, definitely, for that. I'm looking forward to getting along to a gig, so that should be rather a treat. And just explain a little bit about your mascot as well, because we're on a Zoom call to have this conversation, and someone called Dan popped up, and we thought he may have been joining us. So there's 4 in the band, but who's Dan?
Dan is the secret 5th member. He doesn't play in the band, but he has been kind of instrumental to a lot of. And he's kind of an Easter egg within the band universe, because
It's kind of your Bears, is he, to the Stone Roses?
Exactly. He pops up in virtually every music video that we've released this year. He was our host. We did a fan quiz, and he was our host. He seems to always kind of be around on everything. He's such a good mate. So it's a shame he's not back on for that one.
Well, we look forward to seeing him on the tour as well. Then that could be a special moment. Look out for Dan. That will work. Olly, from the King's Parade, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, mate.